I want to tell my story, or rather, there are 3 of them, and they all happened to me in the Holy Land, in Israel. In 2005, fate threw me into Israel after my divorce from my husband, left with 2 children aged 16, 5 and 15. I had to think about how to raise them myself, give them higher education, etc. At that time, they had just begun to issue work visas to Israel, and I decided, having no experience of living abroad at all, especially in such a specific country, having sat safely in the office as an accountant from 8 to 5 p.m., never parting with my beloved children for more than a few days, I gave a pile of papers for visa processing and waited. Weeks passed. There was no news from the embassy. Insomnia overcame me. I was overcome by thoughts about whether my mother would cope with the children, how I would spend so much time without them, what awaits me in an unfamiliar country. On one of those sleepless nights, somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, realizing that I couldn't sleep, I turned on the TV, switching channels with the remote control and not really stopping at any of them. I suddenly caught on the word Israel. It was the RTVI channel. There was a program, Yahad, about a very famous composer in Israel. I will not name names. I remember my skepticism about the word famous, because I considered myself an erudite person, and the man I was told about from the screen was not familiar to me either by name or visually. I was about to switch on, but the cameraman, while filming, brought the camera closer and on the wall, behind a man talking about his life, work, and family, I saw a large number of photos of him with all famous performers from Russia and the CIS. There were very famous artists in the photo. There were a lot of portraits. I became interested, and I watched the program half an hour to the end. I learned everything about the man, where he was born, where he studied, where he taught, in what year he left with his family to live in Israel, what works he wrote and to whom he wrote songs. In addition, he opened a small art restaurant in Israel, where a friendly team works, all young, ambitious, funny and beautiful as a selection. All of them were shown in this program. I saw in detail both the restaurant and the staff. The next morning, full of impressions, I told my friends about what I saw. I got a lot of good impressions, and the country no longer seemed so unfamiliar to me. A month has passed. I got a call that my documents are ready, and I can fly out in 3 days. I omit all the details, and here I am in Israel. My job was to help an elderly woman in everyday life, cook, clean, give her medicine, walk, etc. Anna, a girl representing a company that hires foreign workers, called me in the evening, set up a meeting with a future employer, the son of my old lady, at 8 p.m. in his restaurant near the hotel where I was staying, and kindly agreed to accompany me. At 8 p.m., accompanied by Anya, I entered the small office of the restaurant owner. Somehow everything was familiar to me. The face of the owner, the interior. I looked at the walls and, shock, I recognized the hero of the program that I watched while still at home. The same photos with pop artists. The same high office chair in which the same person was sitting, swaying left and right. There are coincidences in the world, you say. I thought so too. About 5 months later, I told the son of my grandmother that I had seen him, the restaurant, photos of his family, and heard his entire biography at home. The mystery is that no one remembers such a program. All the recordings of the programs in which he starred, well, let's call the composer Boris. For example, he lovingly keeps at home, like all creative people. He is a little vain. There is no record of this, and no one remembers about such a program, neither in the family, nor in the restaurant staff anywhere. Moreover, there is a program with this name. I still remember her in detail to this day. I remember how I recognized round-paired lanterns on the embankment as in that program, the color of the walls in the interior, people's faces, the voice of the girl leading. And where do I get the name of the program, Yahad, together? Who did not know a single word of Hebrew at that time? That's the first story. If readers are interested, I will tell you 2 more. I'd really like to know what people think about it. Once again, I didn't sleep. I didn't dream. There were too many details that just can't be told.